everyone. Welcome to the Beauty Matters with me, Len Hassan, on ALB UK TV. Today, we are joined by Miss England 2019, Bhasha, who's also a doctor with the NHS. Hello, Bhasha.
Hello,
Thanks for being with us today.
my pleasure.
I've introduced you as Miss England 2019. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Why did you get into the pageant world?
I actually was a model for 8 years before I even took part in Miss England. And it was just another thing that I wanted to try out because I dabbled at everything. I've done dance, theatre, and pageantry was just another thing that I wanted to try. I didn't have any expectation to win at all. But it's a big platform. Miss England is a huge platform because it's associated with Miss World, and Miss World is it's the oldest pageant there ever was and is. So I just wanted to try it out, and of course I kept progressing within the actual competition. So I just got on with it. I didn't expect to win at all. It was in the final year of my medical school, and I was focused more on my studies than this competition. But as it happened, I am missing with that.
You did very well. Was it your first pageant? Did you have any other experience before it?
I had done a couple of other small pageants locally. They weren't, anything notable as Miss England at all. I just wanted to try Miss England again as it would have been the last pageant that I would have done. As I say, I was focused more on my career path and yeah, this experience was nothing like the one that I'd done before, nothing of the scale that I had done ever before. So I was very surprised, and in a positive way. I think it taught me a lot, this whole experience.
What did you aim to achieve mainly from the title?
Well, first of all, I didn't think I would win, but for me, the way I saw it, if I did win, then it would open a lot of doors for brown-skinned girls. There are lots of South Asians and ethnic minority girls that live in the UK, and I'm so proud to say that having won Miss England, I feel this year we've had a lot more new entries who are of ethnic minority backgrounds. So I wanted to do that really and change the scene of beauty pageantry to some degree by showing that you don't have to stick to a stereotypical look or career path and that sort of thing really.
But from mid school to pageant world, what you mentioned is really important because people think negative, let's say, to a level about pageant world, and if you are in pageant, that means you can't be smart or you can't have a career, and you are an example that you can do both. So what do you respond to people when they give this negative talks about pageant world?
It's nothing new, even if it's not pageantry. As women, we get questioned all the time about our choices. It's as simple as what color lipstick you're wearing at work, and it doesn't matter how good you are at your job and how professional you are. So for some reason, our personal lives, our choices, there's always something that is more important to the people than how good we are at our jobs. And I want to change this. I really want to change this. I have always wanted to change the expectations people have of me and show them that you can be a pageant title holder and actually have a completely different journey to what people think you should do. Yeah. Now that I have won Miss England, I get asked all the time, why don't you go do movies or why don't you go into modeling full time? And I want to say to them, no, I think there's a misconception that pageant girls only have to go down one career path. I get a lot of freedom from my organization to represent my title how I want to. And for me, it's really important to highlight that the two sides of women that we have, that we can have a personal life, a hobby, a passion, and also a profession. So that's what I'm trying to do with my title.
And what you're also doing is supporting many charities. So can you tell us more about it?
Of course, charity was a very big part of me taking part in Miss England. I have my own charity that I started when I was 17, and it's about elderly people. But at the same time, this title of Miss England has given me the opportunity to collaborate with not just national charities, but international charities. I just returned from India, actually, having done extensive charity work and humanitarian work. I was supposed to do more with the rest of my COVID-19 happened. And at the moment with the lockdown, I think it is challenging to carry on supporting those passion of charity work that I had. But I'm trying to do this through social media. I'm trying to encourage people to donate to the charities that I support. And also, various ways for people to engage in humanitarian work at a time like now. So it's still a part of my life and I'm still carrying on with it.
What was it? It was challenging trip from India back to England.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what happened? How it's 30 hours trip, right?
Oh, yes. And it was such a scary time because, we were very lucky. We got to complete the charity element of the trip in India. But obviously then lockdown happened and I was stranded in India during lockdown. Thankfully, I had family members around me. I was staying with family. So that was nice. But then I think I'm very lucky because I got away from lockdown within a week of lockdown being made. And that was because of my profile as Miss England and having the influence of getting media involved, and that helped the British High Commission sort a flight out for me. My mom, at the same time, she was stranded in India as well. She was there as my chaperone. She didn't get a flight for like 3 weeks into lockdown. And this is the story of so many people. There's a man from Germany who's still stranded in the airport. He's been there since March in the airport. For me, it took me 30 hours and it was a very interesting journey. We had like 3 different stops from like Calcutta to Delhi to Germany, then to Heathrow Airport. But here I am right in front of you.
Here you are, and you're back to support the NHS and to be a doctor.
Yes.
So was it not scary for you to come? It's a global pandemic, and it's people say like don't talk about us as heroes, but they are heroes in what they are doing. They are in the front line. So tell us about you going back to practice as a doctor within the NHS in this difficult time.
I think frontliners, more than their families, that are more scared for them. I'm lucky I'm young. At least I have a better chance of recovering. There are elderly doctors, there have been retired doctors who will return to work. As you might be aware, BAME populations, so ethnic minorities, Black populations, South Asians, we are more at risk. So of course there is that, and we have to be more careful. And I am trying. But the thing is that more than the fear, the happiness and the privilege we feel, I cannot describe it. There are patients in the hospital right now who are old and they don't have family members around them. And we are doing, as doctors, I did a shift just yesterday, 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. I was attending a patient who was in so much pain. And I felt so touched that I could do something to take her pain away. In the morning at 5 o'clock on the same shift, a patient was thanking me so much, saying that I helped him breathe. I gave him a medication and treatment that helped him breathe. And when you think about it, breathing is something we take for granted, to be in the position, not just as Miss England, but as a doctor, as a human being, to be able to help someone with something as simple as breathing and for them to thank you. I feel so privileged. I thank God that I was given this opportunity to help people. And of course, I was going to take it up, because the happiness that you get from serving people and holding their hand when they're in so much pain, it's next to none.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and all your colleagues and all the NHS staff who are doing amazing job. No word can describe what we feel towards them, all the support to the NHS staff. But I have one concern. We heard lots of stories about the lack of equipment. How do you deal with that? What do you feel about it? Is it not stressful situation for you?
There are so many things at the moment that are beyond our control as frontliners, and every day we're dealing with new changes. Every day we're learning more about this disease, and every day the story changes. Every day the rules change from the bosses and stuff. We get new instructions, and it's definitely a steep learning curve for us because we have to adapt so quickly, But the best part about being a part of the NHS, I would say, is that everybody supports each other. We're all there for each other, and we're all trying our best, because we know that's all we can do at this time. And the focus is always our patients. That's what we've been taught, and it's been sort of drilled into us in a way that we can't think of anything else but to act in that way. And when you focus on anybody but yourself, then I think it makes your life a lot easier to not get worried about, oh, what's going to happen to me, because you're seeing that, it's not just me by myself. There's my friends, there's my colleagues. We're all doing this together. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
And we're trying to help a patient. The patient is the focus of our attention at the moment.
How are you balancing between being a doctor and also a title holder? It must be challenging in a way, but is there anything you do it in particular that help you?
I kept thinking, how am I going to be able to balance it? And I found a nice way to do it. I have been really motivated by my social media followers. They have been giving me ideas of what I can do as Miss England. I've been getting a lot of requests to do these videos for charities to raise awareness for them. So for me at the moment, what it looks like is that I have the days that I'm working, and then the days that I have off. Like today is a day off. I did a night shift yesterday. So today I do my makeup, I do my hair, I get ready. I have a series of interviews to do. I have a set of videos to film for social media and for charities as well. So this has just become the norm now. And even at work, I try to film like for vlogging and things like that. Yeah. Because I know people at home, they're bored, and it's nice to see things and see how frontliners are dealing with stuff. And I am in a position where I can influence people to do positive things, especially donating to charity and stuff. So I'm trying to do that with my title, and it's become my routine now to go to work, come back on my day off, get ready, film in a loop.
And I'm sure you are doing that all perfectly well. If someone wants to follow you or know more about you, what's your platforms, Bhasha? So you have.
So I am on all social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah. If you just type in Dr. Bhasha Mukherjee, you should be able to find me. Otherwise, it's at Bhasha Mukherjee. You should be able to see the spelling of my name under here somewhere.
You are also an ambassador for a company called Plastic Free, and I know lots about it now because of you, because you raised awareness about it. But I want you to tell people why you get involved and how it's helping.
Becoming Miss England, I realized that we as humans, me as well personally, I've been leading sort of a passive lifestyle where you go about your life, you're using products, and you don't know what impact you're having as an individual on the earth as a whole, you know. And I have become a more conscious person now about the product.
Yeah.
Plus Free is one of many brands that I have now started to support. Plus Free, I'm a brand ambassador for, and I had to support this brand because think about it, there's 50%, we as women make up 50% of the population on Earth. And there are so many of us that are in the menstrual age, you know. And the products that we're always using are the ones that our mothers used, our grandmothers, or whoever. And we don't question what happens to the pads, where they came from, what are they made of, what are they doing to our bodies. We don't question these things because we've got into a habit of using those things. And now here comes a brand that is affordable and actually trying to change the world from their small space. But it's small steps that make big changes. One normal period pad that you buy from a supermarket has the equivalent of 4 plastic bags of plastic in it.
That's, so imagine the damage to...
Exactly. And how many pads do we go through each month as individuals? And all these pads, they cannot be recycled because they're contaminated with bodily fluids. So they all end up in landfill sites. And just to make a small change in a product and just switching to a different product, just a product like Plus Free, which is zero, you know, all fully biodegradable product. I think I was trying to do my bit as an influencer, as a social media influencer, to influence the girls out there to start living more consciously. And this is not just about a brand particular like Plus Free, but in all respects of your life. And because I started using Plus Free, I have now started to think about plastic as a whole and think about other respects of my life that I could change and become more environment friendly. So one product is not, it makes a big difference in your mindset as well as to how you see the world. So that's what, you know, I'm trying to do with my life.
I think that's important point, and we should all take care of our environment. At London Fashion Week, all the designers decided to do the fabrics, like, which we can recycle again, because even fashion can cause harm. If we looked into details, many things can do harm, and in these small steps we're doing, we can do a huge difference. So I completely support what you are doing, and it's Plus Free for people who want to find it, where they can go, like just
Amazon. Amazon's the easiest place to find it. They're also available in pharmacies, but you know, during lockdown, I would really suggest you go straight for Amazon. It's a great brand, and they've got great ethics behind them. So definitely support them. So
Bhasha, what's next for you? Now you are a title holder, 2019, and you are a doctor. How long you been a doctor for?
The same time as I've been Miss England for.
So which surprise was the biggest? Which one was the nicest?
I already knew that I had a job and obviously I had 5 years training that I was training towards becoming a doctor. Miss England was obviously a very, very lovely surprise, a big responsibility as well. I want to say that it's not just all smooth running. It definitely, there's always a price to pay. And, you know, I respect that title a lot, but there's been lots of ups and downs, as there would be. So, you know, it's all about balance in my life. And right now I'm trying to balance both my roles as a doctor and as Miss England. They're both important to me. And I know that I can use both together. With my platform as Miss England, I'm trying to promote health education. I'm trying to do this through social media. The extra followers that I have gained from being Miss England, I'm trying to point them in the right direction and try to lead by example. So it's a case of responsibility as well that both roles have.
So as a global pandemic changed the plans. So what you really wanted to achieve and you couldn't because of the current situation?
I had lots of travel that was booked for the rest of this year, but they got paused for the time being. But I have faith that there's a reason for everything that happens in our life. I think obstacles are placed in our life, so we do change course, and it's important to change course because it's going to take us to a whole different direction, in a positive direction. The travel, I mean, I have my whole life. Fingers crossed, I should be able to resume it after lockdown is over. But I think lockdown itself taught me so much about how I can really influence the world and help change the world, even from my house, from my one room. And that's the beauty of it, that with the age of social media and the internet, there is so much we can do just from our houses.
Yeah. Future plans? Can we know a little bit more about what you're aiming for?
Aim for to carry on, obviously, as a doctor, but also to become more involved with media, have a wider role in health education of the public. I think the lockdown has really shown that people, as a general, they are interested about their health. They want to know how to be healthier and how they can be more independent with their own healthcare. So I'm trying to do that. I mean, it's as simple as doing, I'll give you an example, something I'm going to be filming on my TikTok today. I'm going to be filming something like how to do a quick test on someone you think has had a stroke. You know, how to check if someone's had a stroke, you know, and I'll just make a quick fun video on my social media about it. So these are the little things that I want to engage my audience to actually empower them in the long run. So I'm working towards that, and maybe a career as a media doctor as well.
We wish you all the luck. You've been a great guest, and we wish you all the best in your future. Thank you so much, Dr. Bhasha.
Thanks.
Okay.